Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Weekly Wednesday. My name is Amanda Waldhart, and you are here with Amanda's InspirationStation.com. Welcome, welcome. So today is August 31st, I believe. Yes, today is the last day of August. Tomorrow is my daughter's 16th birthday. Whew, my oldest child. Many of you have probably already been there. It's a crazy time, but also a fun time. So I'm super excited to be joining you today. I just got back from New Orleans for Stampin' Up's Leadership Backstage event, and I had the most fabulous time. So much great company. I met so many new friends, but yet it felt like a reunion with old friends. I was so inspired. I mean, my heart and bucket is just filled. I can't even say enough. The food was fabulous. We did a city tour that was fabulous. It was all around just fabulous. The keynote speakers were fabulous. The demonstrators who spoke were fabulous. And probably the most epic of it all was at the end Saturday night for our goodbye party. There were 500 demonstrators there, and Stampin' Up had the streets closed off in New Orleans, and we started on the third floor. We got boas and parcels and umbrellas, and we got beads and just tons of fun stuff. And we did our own Mardi Gras parade with a band. There were also, I feel like there were high school band there as well. And they had all these different entertainers walking with us. I mean, imagine 500 Stampin' Up demonstrators and all these fun other people with us walking this parade that was blocks and blocks and blocks. It was by far one of the coolest things I have ever done in my entire life. So thank you so much, Stampin' Up. That was just absolutely fabulous. I had such a wonderful time. And you can head on over to Amanda's Inspiration Station on Facebook. And I was with my friend Christine and Jen and Joni, and I was with many friends, but at the time of walking the parade, I was with those guys. And Christine did a Facebook Live, and I posted it on there so you could see it. It doesn't even do it justice. It was just fabulous. Okay, so enough about that. Let's dive into our weekly Wednesday projects. So for this week, I am featuring the North Pole Mischief stamp set. Obviously, I'm a big cat. Well, I'm an animal lover, period, but I'm a huge cat lover. Obviously, it's my logo. And my Stampin' Up team is called the Crafty Cats. So, of course, anything that has a cat in it, I'm going to get. That's my thing. So we are going to make 2 cards today, and we're going to use some blends today. Some Wink of Stella, some rhinestones. And if you want to, the paper that we're using on this card here is actually found on page 9 of the mini. We're going to use the Sweetest Christmas 12 by 12 Designer Series paper, along with the real red from this combo pack. It comes with Garden Green and Real Red, but we're going to use just the Real Red today. And then the stamp set is found on page 37. So, yeah, I'm super excited. This is super cute. I got a little a little fun fold for you on this card. And then this paper right here is actually Coastal Cabana, and it's in our our 6 by 6 paper stacks that are by color category. So neutrals, brights, regals, we have the in colors and the subtles. So that's where this is found. We're going to stamp on the inside. And then our scallop rectangles are from our scallop rectangle dies. So we're going to do that. So let's get started. Let's start with this cute little fun fold here with the dog. So I have all my pieces cut already, but I do want to share. I'm going to share the measurements with you like I always do. However, don't fret if you didn't catch the measurements. In the link below, it takes you right to a free printable project sheet. The project sheet has colored pictures of both these projects. It has the supply list and it has the measurements, okay? But this cardstock here is 5.5. We start with 5.5 by 8.5, okay? And then we score it at 4.25, just like a normal card base. But once we score it, you're going to go in to 2 inches. You're going to want to cut off 2 inches. Now, I should have left this so that I could have shown this on the video, but I wasn't really thinking when I did it. So let's pretend this is the card. So what you would do is you would score it at 4.25, and then you would bring it up to the 2-inch mark and you would cut this off. And once you cut this off, this is where you get this piece, okay? So we're going to still obviously score on that line, like fold our score line, and use your bone folder to burnish in the crease. And I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. One is going to go on the top here, and this piece measures at 5.25 by 2, because this space here is 5.5 by 2.25. So we're just cutting it down a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and we're just going to go ahead and place that on right away. So we're going to place that. We're going to kind of center it so that we have the black as a matte background. Now we have an inside white piece. This measures at 4 by 5.25, but we're going to do some stamping with it first. So let's start with our inside first. We're going to actually take this designer series piece, and we're going to put this all the way down at the bottom just to kind of add a little bit more, especially because on the front of the card then you can see it at the bottom. Now this piece, we want this is a little bit longer because I want this to cover the whole thing. So because this goes 4 by 5.25, so the length is 5.25, but then we have just it at 1 inch. So actually it's not longer than this. It appears to look longer because we're putting it across all of the way. We're not leaving any space. So let's actually, and you know what, I'm not going to put this down just yet. Just in case I stamp and I mess up, I can flip it over and do it and then put the piece down. So let's do that first. So let's get out our Memento ink pad. We today are using every single stamp from this stamp set. You know, sometimes you pull a stamp set and you just pick 1 or 2 things from it. We're going to use every single stamp. So yay. That doesn't happen very often. All right, so we're going to use the saying that says happy gift wrapping season. And I'm just going to ink that up in my Memento. And I'm going to go about halfway up. And I'm just going to do that. And then we got this cute little paw. This little paw. And I'm just going to put it like that. Okay. So there's that. So now that I know that that's stamped well, now I'm going to go ahead and put my designer series paper. Just like that. And now I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to place this on the inside of our card, and we're going to place it flat. So we'll just place it like that. There we go. Just like that. All right. So now let's do the front of our card. So we have a few pieces here. We have our second to largest scallop rectangle die from the Scallop Contour dies. And I cut that out in black. And then we have this piece of white that we're going to do our stamping on that's going to go in the center. Now the white measures at 3 3/4 by 2.5. So we're going to place that there. But before we do that, we're going to do some stamping. So let's get out our Memento again, and we're going to get the one with the dog. And we're just going to ink it up here. And I like to, with a bigger stamp like this, I like to flip it over and ink it up this way. However, now that I'm doing this video, I should have grabbed my Stamparatus, because that's a great way to do a large image, is through your Stamparatus. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp this on the white. Just like that. Perfect. Now, if I had the Stamparatus, I'm going to bring this up a little bit to point out. See how the dog's ear didn't get fully black? That happens. If I would have had the Stamparatus, I could have kept going over it till it got darker. But if you, another trick is you can take your black dark blend and you can just color over it. And that's what I'm going to do right here. There, now it looks dark the way it's supposed to be. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do some coloring. So we're going to leave the dog and the cat black and white, but I'm going to do the dog collar in dark pumpkin pie. Why I chose pumpkin pie, I don't know, I just liked it. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to do the bow in real red. But we're going to do the package in garden green. The color that's in here in the designer series paper is garden green. Now we don't have a garden green blend, so I am using the Stampin' Right marker on the package. So I'm going to just kind of be very careful with this and just color it in like this. And our Stampin' Right markers are nice, do not get me wrong. I especially love them when I'm actually coloring the back of a stamp and I'm, you know, want that stamp to be in different colors. That's when I love to use our Stampin' Right markers. But normally for coloring, I do like to use our blends, multiple. So Stampin' Up, I would love garden green to come in a blend. So, all right, we're gonna color that in. So that's colored. Perfect, voila. Now we're gonna take our dark real red and we're gonna do the ribbon. And then once we color in the ribbon, I'm actually then going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to go over the ribbon because I want the ribbon to have some sparkles. I know it might not look like it on video, but, and then again, it might, I don't know. I do like the sparkles on the ribbon. I mean, when I think Christmas and I think packaging and bows, I think of glitter. I love glitter. It's messy, but I love it. All right, so let's make sure we color the ribbon all over here. I think this stamp set is so cute. I always think it's funny how they always make cats and dogs like, you know, like they're opposite. They're, you know, like they're always against each other. But the truth is, every cat that I have ever had has always just adored my dogs. It's like they're best friends. All right, so now I'm going to use my Wink of Stella. And I'm going to, ooh, this is a new Wink of Stella. So let's see, hopefully this, or maybe it's older, I don't know. Let's get it going here. Okay, let's use a different Wink of Stella because that one's not, there we go. That one's very glittery. I don't know if this is a newer one or an older one. I'm afraid to squeeze too hard because if you ever squeeze too hard and then it comes up in a big glop, I certainly don't want that, so we will wait, and I'll just use this one. All right, so there's that. I'm going to leave that out so I know that's the right one. All right, so now we need some rhinestones, and I just have our real red rhinestones here, and I'm just going to place 2 of them. I'm just going to place one right there and one over here. Get that little fuzz off there. I don't want that on there. There we go. And now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to place this piece flat onto the black scallop, just like that. And then I am going to use dimensionals to pop this up, but I want to make sure that I'm getting this straight for starters. And I want to make sure that it's centered because I want about the equal amount on each side, which is almost a finger. So, and I don't want to put dimensionals on the whole back because if I do that, I'm going to be shutting the card. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 3 across the top. 3 dimensionals across the top. And then I'm going to place 3 of them on the bottom, but not on the bottom of here. I'm going to place 3 of them right on the bottom of here. Now I can kind of tell where I'm going because I can see right there where I centered the seine. I can see the edge of the seine right here. So I should be pretty safe by doing this. And I'm going to just line that up so that it's straight and it's in the center. And I'm going to go like that. Now it should be where I open it up. Perfect. Look at that. What a cute little Christmas card. It's an easy, fun fold. It's just something different. It's a great way to use up extra designer series paper that you have. And then, of course, the coloring. I think that's fun. All right, so let's go to the second card. The second card, we don't have a whole lot to color, but we do have some. So we're going to start with our black card base. That's 5.5 by 8.5. And again, we're going to score that at 4 1/4. And we're going to use our bone folder to burnish in that. I still have the same size for the inside that measures at 4 by 5 1/4. But before we put that in, let's do some stamping. So this time I'm going to stamp the seine in real red. And I'm going to center that just right in the center like that. And then I'm going to do the little paw because we got to have the little paw in there. I like the little paw. It's cute. Just like that. Perfect. All right, so now I can flip it over because we're going to place this flat inside of our card. And we're going to put that right in there. Okay. Now, the first layer of this card before the die cut pieces is the same size as the piece that's inside. So this measures at 4 by 5 1/4 too. Now these papers come 6 by 6. So once you take one of the sheets and cut it to 4 by 5 1/4, you really don't have a lot of this paper left over. You have more of strips, but they're great strips for you to turn around and use on a different card. So I'm going to now place this flat like that. All right, we're going to do some stamping first, and then we're going to get out our ribbon because we're going to need some ribbon here. All right, so again, because we're using Memento, blends, we're going to use the Memento ink. Blends are an alcohol-based marker, so you're definitely going to want the Memento ink. Although I used one of the Stampin' Write markers, and that's a water-based marker, but I waited until it was fully dry and I used it, so it still worked. All right, so let's do the cat, and we're going to kind of bring the cat more towards the bottom because I want to leave room at the top to stamp the Mary Mary, and we're going to do that in real red. And I'm going to stamp, there we go. I wanted to make sure I'm going to stamp off just once. There we go. And now we're going to do some coloring. So, of course, I made the fish a goldfish. So I did pumpkin pie, and I did the dark pumpkin pie. He looks like Nemo. All right, and then I did the sand in light crumb cake. So we're just going to do the sand in light crumb cake. I did the base as soft smoke, the light smoky slate. And then of course with the blue, we don't have the blue does not come, Coastal Cabana does not come in a blend, but I find that if you use the dark Pool Party with the blend, it does kind of look like it could be Coastal Cabana. I think that if they were to make a Coastal Cabana one, in the blend, it would be very similar. So, but either way, it's perfect watercolor. So I'm just going to color that like that. And then I do have the mistletoe I'm going to color. So I am going to bring back my Stampin' Write marker in the garden green because I want to color the mistletoe here. And I'm not even going to bother coloring that because I'm going to put 3 jewels there. So there's no need to color that. But we do need to get out our Wink of Stella because I want glitter on the water. I want the water to glisten here. All right. Now we're going to put our jewels on. So we need 3 of them to look like little berries here. Like that. And like that. Very cute. Now, before we adhere this to this is where I'm actually going to tie the ribbon. So I don't want to adhere that just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my ribbon. And I'm going to place it in the back like this. And I want to bring it over like this. And I want enough room to make somewhat of a decent sized bow. So I'm going to go like that, and then for the sake of me tying it, I'm going to turn it a little bit here. So I'm going to tie it like this, and I want it flat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie our little bow ears here, and then we're going to tuck it down. Kind of feel like I'm doing this backwards, but all right, give me a second to pull this through. All right, and I'm gonna pull that through like that. Ooh, wow, that turned out to be a good bow. I feel like it's upside down, which it kind of is. So you know what I'm gonna do? Watch this. I'm going to put it, which way do I want to put it? I'm going to kind of turn it around here. I know this sounds weird, but if I took it off and I'm just turning it around so that I can angle the bow a little bit differently, and I'm going to move it like that. There we go. Perfect. So you can take it off your paper like that. All right, just like that. Now I'm going to place this over top of it. And I'm going to place this flat. So I want to make sure that it's just over that part of it, not the actual bow. So there we have the bow. And we can kind of turn it. We don't want to cover our little fish. All right, so now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use dimensionals. And we're going to pop this up and then we're done. We're done with the card. But I am going to angle it because I like this one angled. And we're just going to go like this. Now this piece is a little bit longer, and so I'm just going to kind of trim this. There we go. Perfect. There you have it. What a cute Christmas card. Mary, Mary, and then you've been good this year, mostly. And then we have the cute cat and dog one. Just like that. All right. Well, I hope you guys liked this week's Weekly Wednesday projects. If you are not a YouTube subscriber of mine, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. If you want to print the printable project sheet, just scroll down. There's also a hostess code. Today is the last day for celebrations. That means that for every $50 purchase, you can pick something out of our celebration brochure. And there are new celebrations that were added in August. So there's lots of different things like the silver and gold foil paper. There's treat boxes. There is the gingham embossing folder that's been added. The daffodil daydream dies, the daffodil dies, that's with $100 purchase. So there's different things that have been added, and today is the last day. So hop on over to amandasinspirationstation.com. You can click shop now. It takes you right there where there's also a hostess code. If your order is over $150, do not use that hostess code, though. You'll collect your own hostess rewards. All right, and if you ever have any questions, please reach out and let me know. I hope you guys have a great week, and tomorrow's September 1st, so let's welcome September. Thanks, bye.